Stay tuned for another episode of Life in Chaos.
No. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
And welcome back to Life in Chaos. I was laughing because it says, good moms let their kids lick the beaters. Great moms turn them off first.
It's kind of true, yeah.
Oh, that was funny. And then there's like buns on the screen. Anyway, shows a nice butt. Okay, so
What?
something I'm looking at.
Well, stop looking at that page. We're in a public space.
What did you do to your algorithm, girl?
Hello. And,
You published your books. That's what you did.
It's a little hot in here. Jeez. Okay, I'm Jennifer, and with me I have...
Kelly.
Oh. And...
Elizabeth.
And today we have a special...
Recurring guest.
guest.
Need a beer? No, not need a beer. That was
Yay.
college.
Need a glass of wine?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. How kids say goodnight. I fed the dog and now he's making a funny noise. What?
What?
That's what it says. How kids say goodnight. I fed the dog and now he's making a funny noise.
I don't know you well enough to follow your train of thought.
It's supposed to be a dad joke.
It's a mom joke.
Yeah.
Which is even worse. I don't know. Being a mother of a teenager is finally understanding why some animals eat their young.
Yes, I've heard that before. Yes. Heard that before. Just wait. Your time is coming.
I don't know.
And knowing you, that those apples couldn't have fallen that far from the tree. Girl.
It's already happening. Trust me when I say, mommy doesn't have a favorite child. You all annoy me equally.
We told our kid insanity is hereditary. You get it from your kids. The other day.
Look at me, mommy is the equivalent of hold my beer.
I can see that.
Need a little laughter. All right. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
It's Olympic season. I'm great.
Hey,
We have a free subscription to.
there you go. I started watching. I think I literally watched I saw
Peacock.
Shaun White on the opening ceremony, and then I was like, okay, I'm done, and then I just turned it off. I don't know. I didn't finish.
I didn't watch any of the opening ceremony.
No.
I caught a few minutes of Ilya.
Melanin.
Yeah.
He's from Vienna, Virginia.
He is.
See, I told you
didn't
she'd
realize
know.
that. I mentioned it to
Local.
Kelly, and she's like, Olympics aren't my thing. Elizabeth will definitely know.
Yeah.
The quad
like
god.
Yeah.
The what?
The quad god.
The quad god.
Yeah,
does
he
a
does
quad
quadruple.
axles.
Yeah, quad axles. He's like,
And he also does backflips.
which are now legal.
Yeah.
There was a French skater, Surya Bonali.
I remember that name.
Yeah, 80s,
Wait,
early
Scott
90s.
Hamilton did backflips.
Well, no. She was told she couldn't do them.
Yes.
Oh, she.
Yeah.
Yes. And
But
she
she
was
was
also a woman of color.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go.
And,
Happy Black History Month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
but she was amazing.
She was a phenomenal skater.
But yeah, he's from Vienna, and he went to Fairfax County Public Schools,
There's another one.
and he is a student at George Mason.
Oh. Huh. The more you know.
Yep.
I like that.
Q shooting star.
Elizabeth, you got a joke?
You know,
I've sent you so many.
I know, but it's not like I can. I can't remember. I can't remember. them. But I'll tell you a story.
Bing, bang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Yes.
Speaking of the Olympics, I was watching women's downhill, and we ended up winning the gold.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had the dogs out with me so I could sit in the living room and watch it, right? And the youngest dog is laying on the floor.
Luna Petunia.
Toy. They start playing the U.S.'s national anthem.
Oh, boy.
She stands up. Perfect attention. Stands up. Doesn't move. Watching the TV. When it's over and people are clapping, she did not like that.
Oh.
She's barking at the TV. She's going around the corner to see if there's anything behind it. Mm-hmm. She would not come back in the living room.
What?
I'm like, I'm not sure exactly which part insulted her so badly.
Did she miss the opening ceremony when they
Oh,
booed?
I don't watch it.
Yeah, I heard
I don't
about
watch
that
the
one.
opening ceremony.
I heard about that. I literally watched the first, 2 seconds. And
It's
I
a
turned it
lot.
off.
It's so long.
It is.
And that's
very
why I don't
long.
watch it.
Yeah, I don't have. Come on, we have like 11-second attention spans. It
Although
took
the
a lot
one-
for me to watch a 6-minute men's short program.
The one in Paris was really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm
The
sure
Summer Olympics? I didn't watch the opener, but yeah, I did watch.
I'm sure there were
Volleyball.
really good parts of it, but yeah, just I want to see the events.
Yeah.
Let's get going.
Show me the drones landing, because somebody
man, those
was like on the ground where all the little landing pod things were for the drone. It looked really neat.
Well, the way they're using the drones for the events, it's amazing.
I also heard that some stuff is still being built. Like there was a hole
Yeah.
in the ice at the hockey rink, like as of a week ago or something.
That sounds about right.
I've watched a couple. I've watched the U.S. women's hockey games so far. I mean,
Speaking of hockey, have you watched Heated Rivalry?
I've watched like 3 episodes.
that's like 2 dudes, right?
Yes.
It's not my thing. And I don't mean that in an offensive way. I just mean it doesn't apply to me.
That's all right. She saw her first anime.
Uh-huh.
2 women.
And I was like, they didn't play this on the Smurfs. Like, I'm not sure how
There's some crazy shit happening in anime.
What did you think of the 3 episodes you watched?
So it kept getting like pushed at me every time I logged into my HBO app. It was like being pushed at me, and I kept hearing people talk about it. It was initially I was like, yeah, whatever, right? Because I had started watching. What's the one with the Wall Street, the stock traders ints or whatever it is, but yeah, it got hot real quick, and
Yes, it did.
Yeah, that's what I've read.
yeah.
And
But
I'm
like,
ready
so
for
one of the
season 2.
players is Russian, and it's a big no.
Oh, yeah.
So
Big fat no-no.
Everything's on the DL, and
Until it's not.
just the dynamics of 2 immensely competitive individuals and a very strong physical attraction, and no other outlet, and drama.
Oh, always.
It was good. I liked it. I'm gonna read the book next, but
I think you
It's
would
having
like
an
it,
effect on
even though it isn't your thing.
just look at the story behind it. Okay, maybe not,
Yeah.
because there's still a lot of.
I feel
lot of
feel
spicy
like I
parts.
heard somewhere that
Well, and it's funny because a woman wrote it.
husbands are benefiting from their wives watching Heated Rivalry.
Mine did not.
I would be happier if it
Likewise.
was women's hockey.
Oh,
Because
no,
I can
that's
appreciate
coming
that
next.
game. Okay.
That's in the making.
What's
Yeah.
it called?
I don't know yet, but it's
Sheeted rivalry? You've got heated. I'm not sheeted.
sheeted. Yeah, don't know. All right, well, let's dive into.
We're crazy.
Today we are going to talk about what no one tells you about advocating for a neurodivergent child or adult. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Sugar on a stick. What am I doing? Okay. Anyways, today's episode is for parents, people, not even just parents, who are tired but still showing up, who have had to learn acronyms overnight, who have been labeled difficult, dramatic, or too much, simply because they refuse to stay quiet. We're discussing what no one tells you about advocating for your neurodivergent children and or yourself. And if you've ever felt like this journey is isolating, overwhelming, and unfairly heavy, you're not imagining it, and you're not alone. The moment you realize your child needs advocacy, when do you find that out? When does that happen?
think it can happen at any point.
No one tells you how early it starts. It's often not one big moment. It's a series of small ones.
Well, it's very hard, like, when you're home. It's kind of like somebody you haven't seen in a while. Wow, you grew. Like, when you're living it, you don't see it that obviously.
Yeah, it happens in small increments.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't notice that something was off with my son. I worked full time. And he went to an in-home daycare, and we had a routine, we had a schedule, right? And when we stepped out of that routine, maybe we went out to dinner or something like that, we would see some behavioral outbursts. But he was also 3. So now, while he did have an older brother, but, you know, how much of this is being 3 and how much of it is like neurodiversity? Yeah. I had conversations with our daycare provider, who had been an in-home daycare provider for like 15 years. You know, she knew kids, and his day at her place was very scheduled. So any sort of behavioral outbursts there were minimal. Also, he was very open to trying new things in this very safe environment. Like, I couldn't get the kid to eat anything, and he comes home from her joint and he's eating everything, right?
Right.
But I'm mom, and, you know, they get away with
what
they can get away with, right? It wasn't until I was laid off and I was home with him more. And he still stayed. The plan was for me to take a bit of a break, do some volunteering and some networking, and go back to work after like a month or 2, right? And so we kept him in daycare like 2 days a week, and then he was home with me 3 days a week. And it wasn't until I was home with him more frequently that I really started
to
noticing things.
Right.
And we, you know, contacted the county and, you know, pursued additional testing.
So before you even contacted, like, did you go to the doctor? Did you, like, what was
your
initial...
pediatrician, when you have your like your annual physicals and your milestone visits and stuff like that, they're always, you know, doing things. They're tracking eye movement. Are they talking? What type of play are they doing? Are they stacking things? Are they stringing together 2-3 words? You know, are we getting full sentences? How many words do they have? What color? You know, all the milestone stuff. There were a couple of things that they were watching, but I kind of chalked it up to, because he was in a small in-home daycare provider and he wasn't in like this larger daycare center around more kids, that these were things that maybe because he wasn't in this larger social setting, that he, you know, these were things that would come in time.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I went through the testing with the county, and, you know, the county doesn't diagnose, schools don't diagnose, right? But they can say, oh, these are behaviors consistent with XYZ. And they dropped the autism word, that it was like a gut punch. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in it just kind of floored me way, because
you hadn't thought of it.
Well, I hadn't thought of it. And it's funny because I have multiple friends with autistic children.
Right.
They had thought of it. But, you know, and having conversations with them after the fact, they're like, yeah, you know, but it's not something that you can say, hey, by the way, you know, those are some autistic type behavior.
Well,
you know,
plus, you know, you don't want anyone to tell you, diagnose your child, right?
Well, it's exactly.
And then our mentality is, oh, it couldn't happen to my child, or I can't see that being my situation.
Well, and it's
or
just...
I've been around all these kids and I just don't see the comparison.
Right, exactly.
Well, and I mean, this is my kid. It's natural to get defensive and stuff like that. And it's kind of like, my best friend years ago married somebody. I could not stand this man. Could not stand him. But I stood next to her. I toasted.
Yep.
And because I knew her for years. I knew shit was going to hit the fan. And I knew she would need me when that happened.
Yeah.
And it did. And I got a call at 2:00 in the morning.
And you were on the next thing smoking.
Because, you know, when somebody's in it, you can't, they have to, you know, we have to accept things on our own, right?
Absolutely.
So just that, and even that day, and I think, just having been in therapy off and on throughout years prior to that. So that day, after we had this, like, they went over all of the evaluations and everything they did just within a couple hours, and just everything kind of falling into place in my head and just kind of digesting all of the information. It really started to make sense. Mm-hmm. But it was like, oh, yeah, okay. It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Because sometimes people just aren't ready. Like,
some people just aren't ready. Yeah.
I know someone whose child was delayed as an infant to the point where doctors helped her find resources to bring in specialists and therapists to help that child gain skills. And so it was pretty obvious to everyone that there was something different.
Was this their only kid?
No.
Okay. Was it their oldest kid?
No.
Okay.
Was it the youngest?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of dynamics at play in this situation as well that
but
we're not going to talk about, but
yeah, it ended up where they were assuming it was just delays.
Right.
And weren't looking at any kind of underlying reason for those delays.
Do they look at it as they'll grow out of it? Or
yes.
Yeah. Or, you get the ones that say, oh, they're just being difficult. Have you just tried being a little stricter with them?
Or boys will be boys.
That one as well. Or
they can fuck right off.
Yeah, exactly. But you start noticing your child is trying but struggling.
But it took 6 years
and that's sad.
For them to have evaluations done.
Why did it take that long? Is the question.
Energy.
You know what I mean? Like, this is
life.
Again,
denial is
a big thing. Right?
I mean, look at the world. Cognitive dissonance is, we can kind of talk ourselves into anything if we want to believe it bad enough.
Part of it, too, is, when...
And it was never that they didn't care about their child or weren't,
Well, and parents were split, so it created even another layer on top of that dynamic.
It's also just even pursuing, and I have no idea who you're talking about, pursuing the steps to have the evaluations done. It's a process. And if you're not familiar with the process, and if parents are split and one parent isn't going to do shit, and that's often the case, it's like one more thing for mom to do, or dad, or whomever. It's one more thing.
Responsibility of,
and I feel that in my bones.
Yeah,
Lord
and
knows I feel that in my bones.
I think that's one of the things that no one really talks about is as the parent
it's a whole ass job.
Is doing that job, the weight that is on you.
Well, that's just, see, I'm going to need for y'all to stop reading ahead. Because that's what's next, is what people don't tell you about the emotional weight. Advocating isn't just paperwork in meetings. It's emotional labor. It's consistently explaining your child to someone else, especially for the first time. You're meeting this child. Every year. It's these new teachers. It's these new counselors and everything else. It's watching them be misunderstood. Fighting systems that weren't built for them, carrying guilt, fear, and responsibility all at once.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
It's immensely frustrating. Every spring there's a transition IEP meeting where you meet with the team for the following year.
And for those that do not know what an IEP is, it's an acronym?
Individualized Education Plan.
There you go.
So it's an IEP is what not necessarily a neurodiverse student, a student with some sort of disability, a learning disability, a physical disability, be that what it is. It's the document that gives your kid the services that they need in order to access their free and appropriate public education. Yeah. Those services may be one-on-one time with a special education teacher. It may be additional emotional supports. It may be small group learning. It may be
additional time on taking tests.
It may be if they are physically disabled, that they have a one-on-one aid with them to help them get from point A to point B.
Right.
If they are a non-speaking person, non-speaking does not equal non-communicating.
Right.
If they are a non-speaking person, it gives them access to a communication device if they know how to use that communication device.
Right.
It's a multitude of things, but every year you have to have this conversation. Now, in elementary school, if you're fortunate enough to live in the same place and not change school, like the administration of the school was pretty consistent, but every year, you have new grade teachers and new special education teachers and all of those things. And then we have new goals for the year, goals being whether that is focus on your work for a certain amount of time without, being disruptive, or my son struggles with elopement when he gets very overwhelmed or frustrated, or he's faced with a non-preferred task. That's what we like to say. Something he doesn't want to do.
That's a polite way to put it.
He will run out of the room. He's 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, and all of the security people at his high school know who he is. But when you find that team that listens to you, that puts the effort in to get to know your kid, the gratitude that you feel just for somebody being able to see your kid, it's justifying why your kid is the way they are, and it's hard to sit in a meeting where they take all of their behaviors and all of their needs and try to quantify everything when it's a very emotional experience for you.
It's not just emotional, it can feel lonely as well.
It's very lonely. My husband works. I handle all the IEP meetings.
Right. And like you said, that in itself is another full-time job. Of being your child's advocate, being mom, being the nurturer, being the explainer.
I am his safe place.
Exactly.
If I'm not home, like I had to prepare him for a week that I was coming here and I was going to be gone on Sunday afternoon for like 3.5 hours, right? I'm the one that calms his anxiety, just my presence.
Right.
I was going to go help a friend yesterday assemble some furniture, not in 40, 50 mile per hour winds where, my kid thinks Dorothy's about to fly by or something like that. So
reach out and touch Toto.
We just finished watching like all of Wicked, and we've had like in-depth conversations about Return to Oz and Wizard of Oz, and he's all over like the whole fantasy genre of movies and stuff now. But it's lonely. Yeah. Because
it's thankless.
It's thankless.
It's selfless.
It's
and I'm not saying that as like a negative for anything, but it's really easy from what I can see that
people on the outside looking in are like, "Oh, your mom, it's your job."
Well, I think too, before you can really help your child and advocate for them, you have to deal with what I'm sure the feelings that come with it.
Yeah.
Is this my fault?
Oh,
yeah. Did this come from my side? What is,
There are tissues on the table in the IEP meetings for a reason. I have cried in IEP meetings on more than one occasion. In middle school, it was getting extremely difficult. Last year was exceptionally difficult. And I can fight the good fight for my kid pretty well. And I know that I'm fortunate that I don't work a full-time job and I am available, and they know they can call me if they need to.
Right.
And that has kind of always been part of my method, my process, even when, they were in elementary school, is I was room parent for multiple years. I knew that my kids were quirky before we had any diagnoses, and I just wanted to make sure that I was visible and available.
Right.
So if something came up,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
that they knew that they could talk to me. The
Yeah.
teachers knew they could talk to me.
And
And that I would be receptive.
And I think that's important. That's one of the things that parents in today's climate, they're not as available for or present. And I don't know if it's a generational thing. I do not know. I don't know if it's, I gotta go to work. I gotta make sure that, this happens and this happens.
I couldn't fathom having a full-time job and trying to do this. I
Well,
really
the great
couldn't.
thing is,
and I
is
think
that, you have that availability to be present for him, right?
I think if I had a full-time job and doing this,
Your job would have to be 100% remote.
it would have to be
It would have to
100%
be, yeah.
remote. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But just I had Kelly come over to my house one day, like a month and a half ago, just to mirror me and sit next to me, because I needed to get my son on some wait lists for some therapies. We worked through a crisis not long ago, and we had mental health resources come in to the home to provide us some additional supports. He needs ongoing therapies, given his age. First off, any type of intensive therapy like this is gonna have a wait list.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And then he's a teenager, so a lot of these therapy centers don't necessarily want to work with teenagers, right?
Yeah.
Because you got to get the teenager buy-in. This isn't like me taking a 4-year-old to therapy, like, hey, you're doing this because mom said so, right? That's not what it is. And it was really, I had this spreadsheet of all these places to call, and I had called places and filled out forms, and I couldn't remember what I was doing, and I was texting with Kelly one morning, and she's like, would it be helpful if I came over? And I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'll be all right. And then I'm like, I had been listening to your guys' podcast and trying to be better about asking for help. And I said, you know what? It actually would be really helpful if you came over. She came over, and we sat down at the dining room table, and she had a meeting, and she was there for a couple hours, and I knocked some shit out. And it's just, that's the whole middle-aged ADHD thing. But blame it on menopause. But it's, you don't think that that's going to be, I've been doing this since he was 3 years old.
Yeah.
And he's a teenager. He's in high school. And I'm still fighting this fight.
And now prepping him, not just to get through high school, 4 years of high school, but then also college.
Oh, and it's additionally complicated.
Stop borrowing trouble.
Sorry.
Okay.
Because your son is exceptionally bright.
Oh, dear Lord.
And to have a twice gifted child, which is what it's called, is the complexity makes it even harder.
Because you have to choose. Schools haven't evolved to accommodate this. You have to choose. Do I want my kid to be in these smaller groups where there's less frequency of being overstimulated and overwhelmed, because that triggers that fight or flight, right?
Right.
To hopefully keep him a little more regulated. Or do I want him to be in a more challenging environment, because academically he's bored out of his mind.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And that's not a good thing.
No,
it's not.
Because that's where when they're bored, that's when the acting out behavioral, all of that starts. And that segues right into the system wasn't built for neurodivergent kids at all. Many systems prioritize compliance over understanding, quiet over communication, standardization. Damn, here I go. Welcome
that
to
was a big
2026.
word. Good job.
Over individuality. which means parents end up doing unpaid case management, learning policies like just to protect their child, correcting misinformation, documenting everything.
Oh, yeah.
You're not imagining the resistance. You're not being dramatic. You're navigating a system that often reacts instead of supports.
Twice exceptional is difficult, and you're absolutely right. You know, when schools were designed, they were designed for this industrialized country.
And they weren't designed for exceptional kids either.
No,
Right.
they were designed to, you know, create people that would follow instructions to make a widget.
Yeah.
And then these people would then, you know, go into the factories to make the widgets, right? And there may be a handful of smart people or, you know, rich people or whoever the leadership is, right? But as human beings, we have evolved. And it's... when you go into these meetings, that's the other thing, is the amount of ableism that is presented in the meetings is your kid has to do X, Y, Z in order to, like, he's in small group classes, right? He knows there are certain milestones he has to meet in order to go into a larger group class. He desperately wants to get into a bigger class because he views that as more opportunities to create social connections, and he's quite lonely and he wants friends. Right? But once he gets into those big classes, you know, that's that normal class, right? And he is who he is, and they're trying to make a square peg fit in a round hole.
Yeah.
And that was part of my mental block, and why I asked Kelly to come over that day, is because every single time you get on a wait list for, you know, some sort of therapy or something like that, I'm filling out another form and another form and another form.
Yeah. It's repeating yourself constantly.
I have never had him reevaluated for autism. It's not like he's not autistic, but a lot of insurances don't want to pay for certain therapies unless you have that, you know, reevaluation within 18
validated.
months.
Yeah.
And it was like, I have like trauma from filling out all the fucking forms between both kids and ADHD and autism and language processing.
You got to make dinner through all this, right? And
Yeah.
oh wait, you got to take care of yourself at some point. You got to eat. You got to drink water. Shit, I didn't need to go to the bathroom. Oh fuck, I need to go make breakfast. I need gas. You know what I mean? Like it's your everyday life, but throw in a season of this, a dash of this, an egg of this. How in the hell
I have never heard that before.
do you get through the day?
I've heard a season of this, a dash of this, but
I've
the
never
egg
heard
of this, I've
an
never
egg
heard
of
that.
this.
And,
Throw an egg
and,
on
the-
it.
and there's the whole,
wrong.
like, drop the frying pan.
Exactly.
And everything goes everywhere.
Like,
And then you burn yourself. I mean, it's an
I'm
endless
just gonna
cycle.
say this, and
just
I
got all
mean
the
it
metaphors
like
today.
from the depths of my being, is you are a strong individual, and you deserve your flowers every single day, because yes, you are a mom, but you are also a person.
It wasn't until this year. It wasn't until my son got into the specialty program in high school. It wasn't until I went to that IEP meeting with his new team at his new school at the end of September that I felt like I had sat with a team that was willing to meet him where he is.
That's important.
And
It's hard to find.
we need to
Much
meet
so.
him where he is in order to build the relationship with him so he will trust us enough to put the effort into the other things that we need him to do, other skills that he will need to learn, right? And I cried in that meeting, like tears of joy,
Right,
you know?
right.
And that's why they will always get sweet treats.
At
from
some
me.
point, that felt like a little bit of relief, right?
It
little
wasn't
bit of-
until I had that meeting that I had any
Any sort
tiny glimmer of
breathing
getting
room.
my own life, just reclaiming the tiniest bit
Yeah.
of my life.
what
and-
advocacy really looks like. Advocacy, Somebody else talk.
Advocacy.
It's
a
loud
word.
all the time, but it is consistent. It looks like asking uncomfortable questions, requesting meetings, saying this isn't working, quote unquote, teaching your child to self-advocate when they're ready, protecting their dignity, not just their performance. It's choosing your child's well-being over people's comfort. Fuck people.
Well, we've had a hard time with our son, like the advocating for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to be perceived as different.
Mm-hmm.
At all.
And,
No.
and overall, he's really not.
Right.
I mean, he passes well.
Yes, but he's capable of a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but he doesn't want to be seen as.
Oh yeah, no. This child would answer questions on tests correctly,
Mm-hmm.
and then go back and change the answers on purpose to be wrong, so he wouldn't look like he was that smart.
See, don't make me beat his ass. No, I'm kidding.
He doesn't do that anymore.
You know.
But he's learned that he can skate by with decent grades, doing the minimum amount of work.
So,
And he's okay with that.
but that's not. But okay.
Like, he manipulates the system.
So I have a person that I am acquaintance with, and she homeschools her children. Okay?
God bless her.
Well, actually, let me take that back. They homeschool themselves. Okay, because
Are they older?
yes, one is
So it's like an online sort of thing that
yeah.
they're probably doing.
So
Okay.
her high schooler, sorry, my eyes twitching. Her high schooler was taking college classes in the 9th grade, and the middle schooler was taking something like basically getting
In public
their-
school, they're never going to get that type of challenge.
Exactly, and I think that's part of.
No, you have to go outside of public school to
Yeah.
find that.
So
I mean, that's,
now her high schoolers graduated at the age of 15, 16 years old, and is in college getting their, basically graduated with their associates, and is now getting their bachelor's. And then the youngest one is doing the same thing, same path, but she still has them in sports, still has them, out there making social interactions with people. But is that too much for a child?
depends on the kid.
It
right?
really does depend on the kid. Some kids are that driven, right?
Well, and some kids need that
They need
level
that.
of choice.
But being a child that is quote unquote bored in class or over the work, or like you say, change answers just for the shits and giggles of it, would that have been an opportunity to introduce them into that
We did.
higher education of, hey, start
Well,
these?
like, this started in 1st grade.
Yeah.
As soon as
Oh
he
yeah,
went
I
to public
remember having
school.
conversations with
And
her.
His 1st grade teacher did,
Got it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and she started creating, they had like little workbooks or whatever. She made his a little different.
and
But
harder.
nobody else.
Those
Right.
are called graphic organizers.
Um,
They chunk the work.
it was
I
literally
remember
a
3rd grade was a shit show.
No,
Second.
second grade. And
Okay.
the teacher, we're like, he's coming home and he's like, Mom, she likes the girls
Yeah,
more
I
than
remember
boys.
you all saying
Like,
that.
she
Yeah,
just doesn't,
yeah.
and she's like, she's angry at all the boys just all the time. And so we were like, oh, hell no. And the teacher looked us in the face with the principal and I think a counselor there and said, I raised 4 boys. I know what they're like. And I'm like, you don't know my boy.
Exactly. Not every child is different. You can't put every child in a box and think they are the exact same.
And like the girls, she would, put them up for being put in the gifted program, which
that was the grade that you got, that recommendation.
and they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
She would not do it for
Any of the boys.
And the thing is, though, I mean,
Because the COGAT is in second grade and first grade is the Naglieri test, and then they take those two and combine it with teacher recommendations to identify students that are going to be going into gifted programs in third grade.
But they, I mean, and at his school at that point, the gifted program meant they had to leave campus one day to go to a different school, and it was very disruptive. And it was like, you know,
It was more work.
But he still needs that challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, and it wasn't like the challenge replaced the focus that the class that he was assigned to at his home school was doing. It was just that he had to do all of that work.
Right.
And all of this work.
Right.
That's not what's needed.
Yeah. Well,
So in our school district, that's called level 3. Level 3 is when they pull you out of class once a week. And in my school district, because since we're, we were, when your son was in public, it was different school districts. Both my boys were pulled out once a week for like an hour to do kind of like a enrichment type of activity or whatever. Sometimes they liked it, sometimes they didn't.
But what do they really get from like a...
They didn't get a whole lot from it. They didn't get a whole lot from it. In upper elementary classes, my oldest was put into honors math in 6th grade. He didn't take any other advanced, starting in 3rd grade. If you tested in kids, all of their core academic classes in my school district can be what they call advanced academic program, which a lot of teachers, a lot of people, I guess, confuse more work equals honors class. And that's not necessarily the case.
No.
Because when my son was in his advanced math class, his math teacher was not remotely supportive at all. He had an IEP by this point. He had a language processing delay. He had a minor stutter. He had speech services. We were working through some sensory challenges. And he would get very emotional and very overwhelmed, and his math teacher was horrible at providing him any support. He had support in his other classes, but not in math class because he's in an honors class, so he shouldn't need that.
And see, that's where people get it wrong.
And I think our elementary school had, I'd say, 3 levels. When they got to like 4th and 5th grade, the teachers would switch for different. And so he was in like the higher one, but he was also non-problematic.
Yeah.
So he just coasted under the radar. And then you had the class that needed the extra help. They were just, a little lower level of what they were completing at the time.
They get attention.
Yeah.
Super high achievers get attention.
Yeah.
Low achievers get attention. But if you are like high average or something,
The super high ones, nothing. They were the non-problem kids. The behavioral issues were in the lower section of that class.
Whether they needed to be or not.
I did get a lot of attention because I was a badass child.
And then you had the kids who had to be pulled out for, like, the specialized more...
Yeah.
Where they did a whole day at another school.
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, no, it was tough, and
Well,
there was
it penalized the really smart kids who didn't cause problems.
Yeah, and it also was a social situation that was pretty toxic. Our kid doesn't do things just to do them. He does them to solidify his position and make sure that he's not drawing attention to himself, which meant that him changing those test results to make sure that he didn't look like he was super smart was to prevent him from being bullied for being super smart.
And see, that's a whole nother debacle.
Oh, yeah.
That's a topic for another day, too. Is the audacity of, and bullying starts at home. I don't care what nobody says. That shit starts at home. But to be made fun of or put in a position of defending your academic achievements, kiss my ass. Like,
Or just yourself. I mean,
don't.
it's also why he is very adamant that even though he does have accommodations,
he won't use them.
He won't use them. He doesn't want anyone to know he has them. He is like, no.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
And he actually needs someone at this point.
But
there's no way in hell he's gonna.
What is it? Hard head makes soft ass. He'll fall.
That's like somebody having a physical disability and not using their wheelchair. That's like somebody, that's hearing impaired, not using sign language or
using
whatever.
Their hearing aids.
And in some cases,
and it
he
took a
doesn't
while.
need those, like the ones that they've stipulated for him.
Yeah.
It took a while for me to. I remember talking to my oldest son's doctor, so ADHD, right? And she would send questionnaires to his teachers like twice a year because he did start ADHD meds, and we wanted to, monitor the efficacy of the medication. So how well is it working in the morning? How well is it working in the afternoon? How well is it working in the evening? And so we would need teachers to fill out questionnaires morning and afternoon, and then parents would fill them out in the evening. And it was when she first proposed this, I had a really hard time with it because, like, if your cholesterol's up, you get a lipid profile done, right?
Right.
You've got this quantifiable number. It says, damn, your cholesterol's 300, bitch. Take a statin or whatever, right? And I'm like, it's not like we're measuring dopamine in our brain. And she said, that's where the questionnaires come in. And it really, it took a while for my mind to absorb. She's like, that's data. It's no different than having that lipid profile data, right?
But it is.
It's still data. That's the data that we use to inform our decisions. I don't know why it took me so long to understand that. And, and a lot of people, especially when it comes to neurodiversity, a lot of people, a lot of parents, a lot of individuals, they're like, well, because it's not this thing that, it's more interpretive. It can be quantified, but it's more interpretive.
Yeah.
It's not just a matter of doing a blood draw or doing, an MRI and seeing, this kind of like black and white, cut and dry sort of thing that needs to be done. And because it is this ambiguous challenge that isn't as visible, it's like it's harder for others and oftentimes themselves to accept.
I want to back up a little bit because you having the latest meeting gave you a bit of eye-opening. Hey, I see the light at the end of a tunnel where I can get back
I got a little excited. I may have jumped the gun on that one
where I can get back to myself just for a moment, right? So advocating without losing yourself.
Don't tempt the universe.
But if we manifest it, it happens, right? So advocacy can consume you if you let it, yes. However, burnout is real. You are allowed to rest. Isn't that a big one we always talk about? Ask for help, which you did, right? Say not today. And set boundaries. Put yourself back on the list. You don't have to be everything all the time to be a good parent. Your presence matters more than your perfection, and nobody's perfect.
I think something, so I'm also firmly planted in Gen X land, right? So I think Gen Xers and millennials that are parents of children that require this advocacy level of intervention, we're also that sandwich generation with aging parents.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
So one of my biggest challenges the last couple years has been being present and advocating for my children. And a parent with health challenges living in another state. And I recently had to put my foot down with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I have moved heaven and earth, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And spent thousands of dollars that I really shouldn't have needed to spend over the last 2 years in an effort to get my mom to a place for, like the final chapter of her life, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying that she's not appreciative. I think she probably is in her own way. I think it's hard for her to express those emotions. Right. It's very much a generational thing. But at the same time, I can't fix you.
Yeah.
And it was probably about a month ago that I finally told her, I said, I don't know what the fuck you want me to do. I have done everything imaginable. Mm-hmm. And you're still miserable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
they get stuck in that mentality
and
of poor pitiful me, get me out of this.
Being the people pleaser that I am, and my mom having been a single parent, like I if something's wrong, I just jump in and I do what needs to be done in order to get us through to the end of that.
Right.
And then I work on processing those emotions after. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've done for the last 2 years. And I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
She's a grown-ass woman. Mm. My mom and my nephew live together.
Oh.
Right? One of my sisters passed away years ago, and my mom and my nephew are very close.
Okay.
So it's comforting to me because my mom isn't living alone.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I cannot mediate their relationship from 400 miles away.
Yeah.
They need to figure out how to communicate with one another.
You all live under the same roof. Y'all got to learn how to figure shit out.
And it's been very challenging for them. Mm-hmm. I think, what did I say to my mom? I said, you got fucking money for bingo, but you bitch about paying co-pays for therapy. You need to get your ass to therapy. Because y'all need to figure out how to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When I told my therapist this, she's like, snap. She was so happy for me. But I had been dancing around establishing that boundary for 2 years or more.
Yeah.
Longer. Kelly knows the history of all this.
You realize that you recognize that, and listen, kudos, because I'm about the same way with my own mother, because you're not going to sit here and determine how I'm going to plan out my day to day when you yourself are able and capable.
I don't know. She just needs to figure her shit out.
Yeah.
She's 78 years old. She needs to figure her shit out.
She'll get it together one day.
But so that was a big thing for me. I have, in the effort of reclaiming myself, there are some days I'm just done. You know, I have told my husband, I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I am going to go hide in the bedroom for the rest of the day. You guys are on your own for dinner.
Right.
I'm sorry I'm behind on laundry or the house is a mess. I just, between the kids, between trying to work for myself and make a little bit of money just to have some fun money. So if I want to go to fucking King Spa for the day, I can go to King Spa for the day.
Absolutely.
But none of that would have been possible if I didn't get to the place where my son is now, where he's in a program where they won't let him call me at the drop of a hat. They're like, you don't need to write a note. You can talk to mom about that after school, right? Where I feel like I can actually go somewhere and have an appointment and enjoy a few hours or do something on my own. And
without the anxiety of, is my phone going to ring? I can't go get a pedicure because I'm not sure if my phone's going to ring and I'm in the middle of this and I got one toenail cut. You know what I mean? Or I can't go out and have breakfast with my friends because I don't know what's going to happen.
Many times it happened over the years. Many, many times.
Yeah. Well, again, it's...
So the process itself, navigating the process through the education system in and of itself is a clusterfuck. It's exceptionally challenging. There are a lot of resources available.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of school districts have resources available that people don't know about.
Right.
Some school districts don't have any available, or they do just the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And some
But-
of them say they have the resources and don't follow through with them.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
That
Well,
is
and
true.
a lot of it comes down to money. Where are we putting our money?
Yeah.
Danielle.
Right. There are people in the world that think teachers are overpaid. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Why don't you
Teachers
go
are
into a
so
classroom and try to
underpaid.
teach 25 to 30, even if you are fortunate enough to get 25 to 30 neurotypical kids,
Thank you.
right?
Thank you.
Neurotypical, not hungry,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
not
Not cranky, not on
Let's
their...
say they've just had breakfast and you got like this 2-hour window before the hunger starts kicking in for lunch.
Yep.
And it's not raining out, so they're not like overstimulated by the sound. They're not pissed off because, they had to wait to go through a fucking metal detector to get into the school when it's 18 degrees outside.
Mm-hmm.
They have to halfway unpack their backpacks because they can't carry anything metal through the metal detector. The kids walk through the metal detectors. They hold their arms up like this to hold their thermos in one hand and their laptop in the other hand. And they wear their backpack.
That's insane.
Yeah. So, on top of the fact that, oh, wait, we're going to have a lockdown drill this week. And just...
And the fact that we just got over what is it? Snow Creek. Snow Creek?
Snow Creek.
Crazy.
It's still out there.
It is.
I'm surprised how many sidewalks are shoveled. Because there ain't shit shoveled by me. My sidewalk is just, I got to get to the car, but, like, just coming up the road.
Oh, they're going to start
ticketing
finding
people.
Yeah. What your child needs most from you. More than anything, your child needs to know they are not the problem. Their brain is not working. Oh, excuse me. Their brain is not wrong. I'm not working. My brain's not working.
That is so huge. So huge. Because they just want to be like everybody
Yes.
else. They
Yes.
just want to make friends. They just want to be like everybody else. They just want to fit in.
Yep.
And every day I am continuously impressed with the effort that my son puts into belonging.
And
I
that's-
want to start an after school club.
Yeah.
Or his birthday is tomorrow.
Aw, happy
And
early birthday.
we're doing a little thing with a couple friends. He doesn't have a lot of friends, but with a few, friends of his next week when it's a long weekend for school. And he always, because he bakes, right? He always wants his big, elaborate birthday cake. He came to me 2 days ago. He said, I don't think the cake needs to be that big. I damn near fell off the couch. I was like, shut the front door, seriously? I'm like, is it still Kirby themed? He's like, it can be. You can do whatever you want with the decorating.
Wow.
You don't even know. From the time he was like 4,
Yeah.
he has been controlling. I made a cake one year.
He's a little bit of a tiny tyrant when it comes to.
I made a cake one year that looked like a fucking Candyland board.
Uh-huh.
I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning doing that shit. I didn't make the cake. I bought the cake at Costco. I just decorated it because I'm like, I can't cook. I even went and bought a pan big enough, and I'm like, I don't even know how much cake batter needs to go in that damn pan or how long it would need to bake. Yeah, I was like, holy crap balls.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. 'Cause
That's yeah.
Yeah. They don't have to earn belonging. So it's great that you said that, he's at this place where he wants to start doing things to feel like, hey, I have a part in this
He's always
society.
made the effort. It just hasn't always been well received
Yeah.
by his peers because
And
he is
that's-
quirky, because he is different. He, a lot of the nuances of social relationships are lost on him. He likes what he likes, right? So sometimes he's not always the most flexible, but it's so important that they don't internalize this, because when kids don't trust you, when they
Yeah.
don't talk to you, and they
Yeah.
internalize this, how many risk assessments? Risk assessment is code for suicide assessment, suicide risk assessment, right? Have I had done for my kid? The knives are not on the magnetic rack on the wall.
Right.
The knives are out of sight. They're not locked up, but they're out of sight because, those impulsive behaviors, if something like that is easily visible and easily accessible, right?
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's recently shared with me, one of his medications makes him gain weight. He's recently shared with me that he doesn't like how he looks when he looks at himself in the mirror. He's very self-conscious about his body. When he was younger, he was very trim. He was very lanky. And, he doesn't have a horrific diet. I mean, it's not the best diet, but he's also a teenage boy.
Yeah.
But just the fact that he trusts me enough to talk to me about that instead of internalizing all of that.
That speaks volumes.
Yeah, and these kids, they don't feel heard.
And there's...
It takes a lot to get past...
There are the neurotypical children who still don't have those conversations with their parents.
Well, because their parents, think they're coasting along.
Exactly. Without stopping and sitting down with them. And
Your
just
8th graders off at a party drinking alcohol, smoking,
having sex in the bathrooms.
All kinds of stuff.
Oh, boy. Yeah. So here are some reflection questions for our listeners. Take a moment and ask yourself, where do I feel most exhausted in this journey? What support do I need right now? How can I advocate with compassion for my child and myself? And what does progress look like beyond grades and milestones? You're allowed to redefine success. Thank you.
When it comes to, in some instances, advocating with compassion is, can kiss my ass. You know what, I'm going to call a spade a spade. And if you guys are dicking around and not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, through the volunteer work that I do, I have made connections with official advocates, the ones that you hire and bring into these meetings. And I've been fortunate enough to have some of these people on my side to be a voice for me and my son when I wasn't able or wasn't confident enough to be that voice. Right. But again, I know these people. It's not something I had to seek out. And, oftentimes we can kind of work out like a trade sort of thing, but it can be...
I feel like there's a lot of cookies being exchanged in this.
Well, I do closet
cookies
organizing too.
Brownies and,
I did just drop off some blondies at her house last week.
There you go.
So she messaged me. She's like, your son is a genius. He's amazing.
If no one has told you lately, you are doing something extraordinary. Advocating for a neurodivergent child requires courage, patience, education, resilience, and love that refuses to shrink. You're not too much. You're exactly what your child needs. And one day they will know that someone stood between them and the world, them in a world that didn't always understand. That matters more than you'll ever realize. Damn, I can't talk. Jesus Christ, Lord have mercy. Please, somebody help me. Help me.
Take a breath.
Thank you very much for coming in today and sharing your knowledge and speaking on what matters right now. And honestly, that's our children in this world, this crazy, chaotic bullshit world.
I would just encourage any parents out there to... I'm a big fan of Brene Brown and the power of vulnerability. And it's hard to speak up. It's hard to ask for help. It's hard to share your truth with people because, social media is out there painting this pretty picture of what everybody pretends their lives to be. Right. Which is, more often than not a facade and it's total bullshit.
It's those rose-colored glasses.
And, if you're a parent of, a children of, whether it's a physically disabled child, a neurodiverse child, it's even just any parent. It's just, you need to find your village. Yeah. You need to find these trusted people. There's a lot of power in knowing that you're not alone.
Yeah. You want to say something, Kelly?
I was just going to say that it's important to acknowledge that you're the person your kid needs.
Yeah.
But it's also important to acknowledge that you are important too.
Yes. Yeah. I am all for...
Just because the amount of effort and responsibility and the weight that you carry about, because it is serious. Mm-hmm. It's like, it is the difference between giving your kid the tools they need for success, mm-hmm. or consigning them to not be able to be successful.
Right.
And how you do that is different for any child. So the second guessing and the am I making the right choice? Am I doing the right thing?
Oh, yeah.
Am I,
I can speak volumes to that, being that, my son may need something that my daughter doesn't. My son is struggling right now with reading and math. That's something I struggled with in school. And meanwhile, my daughter is out here doing a grade and above math. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Whose child are you? Like, what? And, it's showing up so differently for each of them.
And that can change.
Mm-hmm. In the blink of an eye.
Our kid was reading 4th grade level in kindergarten.
Yeah.
And, Little House on the Prairie books in kindergarten.
And then he went to public school, and I don't think he had to read a book until 5th grade.
Yeah. 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 It's also, it talks about, too, how generationally, that's a whole different topic. Yeah. But it talks about, too, like, what we want to show them and guide them in a way that will allow them to also be able to speak up for themselves and to learn those different life skills. Life lessons is what I call it. Life lessons. All right. Well, thank you, Life and Chaos fam, for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you for having
to
me.
Nita, glass of wine. And if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please reach us at info@lifeandchaospodcast.com. Till next time, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Life in Chaos. Don't forget to check out our incredible merch at lifeandchaospodcast.com.